Hello and welcome to Legally Married or Legally Raven here. It is 5:30 Eastern Time on March the 1st, 2022. And we are going to talk about legal writing again. And because you are my editor, we are actually going to today use it in this format. So when I see mistakes, I can fix them. How about that? So we're going to talk about the importance of using familiar words, no esoteric words, dictionary not included. Do you remember when you were a kid and you get this new toy and you can't wait, you open the box and it's like batteries not included. And if you put that in a movie too big, they'll be so irritating and you'll be irritated. And it always needs those big fat batteries like C and D batteries. And you're like, oh, and it's late and the store is closed. Now you can't play with your toy till the next day, like torture. Right? Yeah, rough childhood. But anyway, so the point of the story is that dictionary not included. So a lot of people want to feel smart, and so they use big words. I've been guilty of it too. But we, even among familiar words, choose the simple over the pretentious. So don't use pretentious words. Now let's talk about pronouns, pronouns, pronouns. Oh my. So use of pronouns, write this, not that. You know that book, eat this, not that. So I don't have a not that for everything, but that's just the first thing I thought of when I thought about that. So you can avoid the use of he and she by using plural nouns and pronouns. So never use a plural pronoun to refer to a singular noun. So for example, write this: lawyers should bring their proposed jury instructions to court. Do not write, or not that, each lawyer, because that is singular, should bring their, which is plural, proposed jury instructions to court. So let's just highlight this here, right? So we want, if it says each lawyer, and let's make this pink, my favorite color, and their, okay, let's make these red actually, right? Because red means bad. All right, good. Each lawyer should bring their, this is bad. We don't want this. We don't want this, right? Now, sorry about that. Now, use you and we for gender-specific pronouns. So write this: you should bring your jury instructions to court, or you can write we should bring our jury instructions to court. You can also write one should bring one's jury instructions to court, but remember, one never brings his or her jury instruction to court. So one brings one. Right, so let's put that in a separate line. I like that better. All right, now let's talk about collective nouns. So this is for like the court, the jury, the board, the Congress. We are going to use these words a lot, which refer to several people working together as a unit, required singular nouns. So write this: the Supreme Court ended its term on June 30th. So Supreme Court, it's, so it's gender neutral, it's, but it's still singular pronoun there. All right, so anybody, everybody, nobody, somebody. So I had a friend, whenever he talked about cleaning, he's like, everybody thinks anybody can do it, so somebody will do it and nobody does it. And so he talks about, be the first to volunteer to do something. So that's what I thought of when I thought about this. So anybody, everybody, nobody, somebody. When an indefinite pronoun is the subject of a sentence, modern grammarians approve of using the plural personal pronouns: they, their, or themselves. So write this: anybody would have realized that they left their briefcase in the courtroom. Or you can write, somebody always parks their car in my parking space. You also, the tricky part is that indefinite pronouns are used with singular verbs. So everybody likes or nobody goes. Indefinite pronouns are not singular in meaning. They feel plural because they stand for concepts such as all people, no people, any people. So even though the pronoun itself, the indefinite pronoun, is singular, it stands for a group of people. We talked about, excuse me, sorry, it's early, some sample groups: court, jury, board, Congress, class, right? These would be all types of things that are groups. So when we have an unknown person, they, their, themselves, use when referring to unknown person or person. So singular plural, write this: no victim of crime should blame themselves for what happened. Singular subject, victim. Singular verb, you can say the victim says, the victim remembers. Victim stands for a group of people. So You can also write anyone who has been a victim of a crime. I'm sorry. Let's check this. Let's check what I meant here because I'm not sure what I meant, to be honest with you. So I'm going to open up this and I'm going to share my screen, this, and this is what I am working from. You Convince Me by Brian Porto. So let's go here. Let's go back to pronouns. Let's see what I meant. Okay, let's see. Use familiar words, pronouns, pronouns, pronouns. No victim of crime should blame themselves for what happened. Although the subject victim is singular and we use a singular verb with it, the victim says, the victim remembers, it stands for a group of people. Anyone who has been a victim of a crime. So using the form they is appropriate. Okay, so anyone who has been a victim of a crime. Victim is plural because it stands for a group. So using a form of they is appropriate, right? Right, okay, so let me just, we went back and we fixed that. Sorry, I forgot to show you that I fixed it. All right, sometimes you have to go back to your notes. Using a form of they is appropriate. Okay, creative avoidance. Okay, how to avoid using they, their, and themselves. My mom used to always say, she told me to clean my room, I would start on project creative avoidance. So match the subject of your sentence. Make the subject of your sentence unmistakably plural. Match a plural subject with a plural pronoun. Write this. Victims of crime should not blame themselves for what happened. Avoid the awkward alternatives, he or she, and him and her. So let's get rid of this. I copied this the sheet. So the Brian Porto says that it makes him uncomfortable. So the way that he avoids that that singular subject, right? That it's a singular word, even though it stands for a group, is that he just makes it plural. So then he feels more comfortable. So victims of crime instead of a victim of crime. Victims of crime should not blame themselves for what happened. So avoid he or she or him or her, that can get awkward. So you ain't seen nothing yet. So this is about double negatives and the fact that with double negatives, this is a sentence you obviously wouldn't use in professional writing, but it can happen in other places. So there are, how do I pronounce this word again? Is it erudite? Hold on. Having your strong great knowledge. Erudite is correct. So it said don't use in the thing, use familiar words. Erudite is not a familiar word to me. I've definitely heard it before, but yeah. So it kind of goes against using familiar words, but erudite, use of double negative. So we don't want to sound like we're having great knowledge or learning and choose words based on that, you know, pretentious words, as we talked about earlier. But certain phrases can give the illusion of intelligent writing. Phrases like not unlike, isn't that not so? Okay, these phrases confuse rather than enlighten. So we don't want to use double negatives in a way that's kind of pretentious, right? That is erudite. And maybe he picked this word on purpose because it is a fancy sounding word for having knowledge or learning. So maybe that's why. So now where is for location only. So it says that oftentimes people use where to express an idea. There was a sample sentence that talked about where an employee was off frolicking at the time of the accident, right? No, where is the location? So the employer did not know where the employee went on his lunch hour. So typically you can replace where with when or if to express an idea other than a location. So where is for location only. So where are we? Speaking of, and doing this kind of summary of Brian Porto. I think this is about 40 pages with endnotes. And we are right here. We're going to pick up with reject clumsy lawyerisms, right? We're on page 17 of 43. So I said this is going to be 4 videos. It might actually be about 5, but we really want to take a deep dive into the importance of developing our professional writing skills. So thank you so much for tuning in this morning to another episode of Legally Direct, Legally Raven Haired, coming to you first thing in the morning, talking about persuasive writing. Bye.